Cutting-edge research into a potential cure for cancer could be severely impacted by the Republicans' mega bill currently working its way through Congress. NBC News correspondent David Noriega met up with a team of scientists who are on a quest for biochemical compounds that could hold the key to everything from a cure for brain cancer to non-addictive pain medications. David joins us now. David, good morning. So what did you hear from these scientists about the potential impact of this big bill?
Well, when these scientists look at the massive budget cuts that are buried in this spending bill, on top of cuts already either enacted by DOJ or attempted by DOJ, and in some cases tied up in the courts, what they see is an effort to dismantle the very system that has made the U.S. a world leader in scientific research. That's the system where the federal government gives grants to scientists based at universities to do the kind of experimental, risky scientific research that nobody else will pay for. Take a look.
On a cloudy San Diego morning, we set out to find treasure on the ocean floor.
We're with a team of researchers from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UCSD. What they do is they come out here regularly, dive down to the bottom of the ocean, and collect microbial life that could potentially be used for revolutionary medicines.
Microbiologist Paul Jensen thinks the ocean could hold the key to everything from non-addictive pain meds to a cure for cancer. But first, he has to go down and find it.
So what's happening right now is that Paul and his team are down on the ocean floor about 50 feet down, and they're setting these hoops. They're literally like embroidery hoops that you buy at a craft store.
Those hoops hold a special resin that captures chemical compounds, many of them never observed before.
The only way I can describe it is it's an embarrassment of riches.
Back at the lab, Jensen's team breaks down and studies what they gathered at sea. The work shows real promise. One of Jensen's discoveries is in clinical trials for treating brain cancer. To develop that drug, he worked with biochemist Bradley Moore. And like scientists around the country, Moore and Jensen fear their life's work might soon come to a screeching halt.
How much of the work that you do is funded by the U.S. federal government?
Pretty much the vast majority.
None of this would be happening without federal funding.
Under President Donald Trump, the U.S. government has set out to aggressively cut funding to precisely this kind of scientific research. Much of that comes from the National Institutes of Health, which for decades has been a science powerhouse, backing the research behind countless medical breakthroughs. But the budget bill already approved by the House would slash the NIH by 40%. And that's on top of Department of Government efficiency cuts already underway that researchers say threaten to cripple projects funded by the agency. Some of that is happening already. The government has stopped payments on one of Moore's existing NIH grants, forcing him to find other ways to keep paying his staff.
We haven't been paid for 3 months. Very soon, we're going to have to make some really tough choices about letting people go just because our funding has been frozen.
The White House and the NIH did not respond to requests for comment. But Republicans have said the cuts are meant to target waste and fraud. And like many scientists, Moore and Jensen say you probably could make the system more efficient, but that the proposed cuts would do much more than that.
It's killing the goose that lays the golden egg.
And what the federal budget has done, it's allowed us to do the risky experiments where a lot of times we fail. And during that failure, we make amazing discoveries that come out of it.
What's at stake, they say, is nothing less than America's standing in the world.
It's been a hugely successful model, right? It's why we have so many Nobel laureates. It's why we have so many discoveries here, okay? It works. Why do we want to break a system that's working so incredibly well? I just can't understand it.
Something you hear a lot in the scientific community is that system you just heard Paul Jensen talking about took decades to build. And even if the next president or the next Congress wants to go back on these cuts, it's going to take a lot longer to rebuild it than it takes to break it down. Back to you guys.
A fascinating look at that, and it's just one of 1,000 stories you could find of impacts of this bill potentially. NBC News correspondent David Noriega, thanks so much for your reporting. You know, Sam Stein, you look at that report, you look at slashing NIH or cuts to the VA by DOJ or potentially to Medicaid and people's health care in this big, beautiful bill, and it is maddening to a lot of people that they're looking to trim the fat in those places while giving tax cuts to extremely rich people and corporations.
That report is about as infuriating a thing you can see on TV. What we are doing to science in America is blasphemous, honestly. We've been a leader on the global stage on scientific development and research and investing in it. And we are about to just absolutely sacrifice that for tax cuts for the rich. And look, everything in that report was accurate. I would say almost understated. I've had conversations with people at universities across the country. They are slashing budgets by tens of millions of dollars because of indirect cost caps. You talk to people in the field, it's not that it's going to set us back and we'll have to rebuild and it's going to be really difficult to rebuild. It's going to set us back and we may never rebuild.
We may never. That's
Ever.
absolutely right.
And that's because, frankly, right now, Europeans, Canadians, Chinese are looking to take our scientists and bring them to their country, fund them, and they will stay there for 5, 10, 15 years because you need a 5, 10, 15-year ramp in order to do your research.
Exactly. And
you're not going to come right back to America.
This is your life's work. You feel you're on the verge of a breakthrough, and your lab just got defunded. And, you know, the university in Marseille or Lyon or in Bonn is saying, hey, we'll fund your lab, you know, and we'll give you more. Come on over. What are you going to do? You're going to go over there because this is your life's work, and you believe it's potentially important for medicine, for space travel, for whatever. It's just, it's so stupid. It's hard to really comprehend why we would surrender this massive advantage that we've had for a century.
Like banning international students from Harvard, say, incredibly short-sighted when you look at all the benefits these programs give us. Sam Stein, Eugene Robinson, thank you both as always. Still ahead.